Buzz, 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 buzz. Good morning, America. My name is Sarah Tyson.
My name's Eve Potter.
And I'm Rachel Vedder.
And we're here at our nation's capital doing
the Buzz News. Today we're sponsored by M&M's. Melts in your mouth, not in your hands.
Some general news in the 1940s was in 1941, Mount Rushmore was completed after 14 years of construction, and it became a national monument. In 1941, Marvel introduced Captain America. In 1943, the Pentagon was also completed, and in 1946, BBC comes back on after being shut down during World War II. In 1946, the Iron Curtain speech by Winston Churchill is delivered, and in 1947, the Polaroid was invented. And now to Eve with more information on the war.
Thank you, Sarah. On December 7th, 1941, Japanese fighter planes bombed American ships in Pearl Harbor. The United States was then officially in the war. There were more enlistments on December 8th than any other day in American history because of that. The war actually strengthened the U.S. as a country. American spirit began to emerge from the war. The U.S. won the Battle of Midway, which was a major turning point for the war. On June 6, 1944, the Allies made a massive invasion in Europe. This was known as D-Day. The Allies eventually win the war, and Germany ends up surrendering. After that, the U.S. was still technically at war with Japan, so on President Truman's authorization, atomic bombs were dropped in Japan, and then Japan surrenders.
Because of World War II, a lot of the culture was focused around the war. Many famous baseball players and other celebrities went to war, and much of pop culture was enhanced by an anti-German and anti-Japanese sentiment, including ads and political cartoons. The 1940s brought us Jeep, Slinky, Sticky Tape, M&M's, hence our sponsor, Tupperware, Frisbee, Velcro, and Rice Krispies came out with their Snap, Crackle, Pop slogan. In the 1940s, people couldn't just walk into a store and buy anything of any quantity. Many of the everyday items in 2017, like sugar, butter, meat, and gas, were limited by the government. After World War II, everyone began to focus on the extravagance of culture. Movies were very big, and they were supported by the government, probably to take the mind off of the war and the reconstruction from the war. Movies like It's a Wonderful Life and Citizen Kane were two of the main ones that are still relevant in 2017. Fashion was, for women, it was a good mix of comfort and glamour. They wore bright colors, the brighter the better, and women always wore gloves to match their dresses and skirts. Women did not wear slacks yet. Men still wore suits, ties, and hats as well. So with music, it was the decade of the crooner. Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra were two of the main artists, and Louis Armstrong and Ella Fitzgerald dominated the jazz portion. People listened to the radio daily, and phonograph players were beginning to be affordable for common U.S. families. Radio stations were censored, and a lot of the popular music, like Baby It's Cold Outside, were not able to be played on the air.
And now to Rachel for the weather.
Thanks, guys. There's been lots of solar eclipses in the 1940s, and these were some of the first few recorded. However, in order to record these, you have to wear special glasses so that you don't burn your retinas. Ooh. According to my research, the next big eclipse will be in 2017 on approximately August 21st. And now for news in the weather. We currently have 35 weather balloons, which have greatly improved the weather conditions. Thanks to these new weather recording devices, we have had an advantage, especially in the war, as we know how to prepare ourselves for the upcoming weather. The new weather devices have also saved numerous lives, not only human, but cattle as well. For example, in January 1943, flood forecasts allowed people to evacuate the area, as well as evacuate all the cattle, which greatly saved the cow industry. And now back to you, Sarah. Thanks, Rachel! After the break, we'll go to Sarah with International Relations.
Look, here is the new Band-Aid plastic strip with new Super Stick. It sticks better than any other bandage. The proof? Take a dry egg at room temperature. Touch the egg with any other bandage. Brand X, brand Y, brand Z. Not one sticks. But a Band-Aid plastic strip with new Super Stick sticks tight instantly. Watch it again in slow motion. No pressure, yet we can lift the egg, even boil it. And the Band-Aid plastic strip never comes loose.
Maybe you don't want to boil eggs this way, but you do want the extra protection of Band-Aid plastic strips. They take better care of little cuts and scratches. They stay put.
Yes, even in hot, soapy dishwater. Neat, flesh-colored, almost invisible. Band-Aid plastic strips with new Super Stick stick better than any other bandage. Made only by Johnson & Johnson, the most trusted name in surgical dressings. Be sure you get Band-Aid plastic strips.
When the U.S. was in World War II, they were part of the Allied powers, which included Great Britain, France, until Germany destroyed them, the Soviet Union, the United States, and China. Before the U.S. entry, the U.S. aided Britain and other countries with a whole bunch of military aid and supplies. U.S. also limited Japan's exports and froze the Japan financial assets. Back to you, Rachel. Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah. Stay safe out there. Alright, in the 1940s, the U.S. emerges as a world leader. Most of this was due to the experience FDR had as a president. His third term started in the 1940s. Until the end of the war, the politics in the 1940s consisted mainly of war plans. At the end of the 1940s, the U.S. struggled to restore peace in the country. It was difficult to boost the economy back to normal, as they didn't want to really reduce the military spending, just in case that there'd be another war. This was a wise decision, because the Cold War would be coming soon.
And now to E for sports.
In 1947, Jackie Robinson becomes a part of the Dodgers. He's the first African American to play Major League. The NBA becomes the main basketball. Famous Latin goal call is heard for the first time by a Brazilian radio announcer. Goal! And ice hockey has its first All-Star game.
Thanks for that, Eve. And now back to Sarah with some more information on the atomic bombs.
The first use of nuclear bombs was in World War II. The U.S. bombed Japan in two spots, Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
And don't forget to duck and cover. Duck and cover.
After the break, we'll have a special interview with a special guest.
We're going to use an ordinary garden variety peach with its short, close fuzz and tender skin, and a regular regimental hairbrush with its rough, tough bristles, to prove to you that the man-sized Remington electric shaver will give you a close, comfortable shave, no matter how tender your skin, no matter how tough your beard. Look at this amazing demonstration. The Remington is so gentle that it can shave the short, close fuzz off a peach without harming its tender skin. And the Remington is so powerful that it can shave the bristles off a brush, bristles tougher than any beard. Remember the amazing demonstration of the peach and brush. For the close, comfortable shave you've always wanted, reach for the Remington electric shaver.
Good morning, and today I'm here with a special guest, and she's going to introduce herself for us.
Hallo, ik ben Anne Frank en ik ga jullie wat vertellen over mijn leven.
If you didn't understand that because she's speaking German, this is Anne Frank. Anne Frank, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, where are you from? What's your life story?
Ik ben eigenlijk van Duitsland, maar ik ben hier verhuisd vanwege de Wereldoorlog. En ik woon nu al 2 jaar in een heel klein huisje met mijn familie, omdat we bang zijn van de vreemde mensen die ons gaan vermoorden.
In case you didn't understand that, Anne's family was one of the Jewish families that was persecuted in World War II, and she had to hide with her family in this broom closet for over 2 years. And she wrote in her diary about her experiences. And at one point she was writing about how she didn't feel like she didn't want to live anymore, and that she just wanted this to be over, and she just wanted to die, and that no one would miss her when she was gone. But little does she know that her words and her diaries were published, and now millions of students each year read them, and they shape the public perception of World War II.
We can predict that changes will happen in the future, specifically 2017. Currently, in the 1940s, divorces per 1,000 people is only 2. The life expectancy for males is 60, and for females it is 68. For unemployed people in the U.S., there's only 8,001,020. The average salary is $956 per year for men, and for women, they only earn 62 cents for every dollar that a man makes. For college degrees, about 5% of males have college degrees, and about 3.8% of women have college degrees. And we're predicting that in 2017, the divorce rates will skyrocket compared to what they are now, approximately 40 to 50%, give or take. And for the life expectancy of males, we're predicting that they will go up to maybe 76,
No.
and for females, 81.
Yeah, sounds good. Pretty solid.
We're also predicting that the unemployment rate will be 4.7%.
Of the population.
Approximately.
The average salary will be $51,000, and women there'll still be a wage gap, but they will make 80% of what men do. And for men, 32% of men will have college degrees, and 32% of women will have college degrees.
And that's it for our program tonight, and thank you for watching, and join us tomorrow for the 1950s. And once again, this is
The
Buzz News.
Have a good night, folks.